to make it very easy for me to go through the slide that I have here, right? So yeah, once again, thank you for so much for giving me this invite, and good evening, everyone. My name is Johncross Marvin. Just like I already said, I'm a transformational architect and business growth consultant, right? And I'm honored to open day one of this personal finance and bootcamp. I believe tonight we will not just inform ourselves, but by the grace of God, I believe that whatever information you'll be receiving here will end up transforming you, right? Because my journey from position 40 to becoming a consultant to entrepreneurs, institutions, and organizations has taught me quite a number of lessons. And some of these lessons is that you can't rise financially beyond the level of your personal growth. You know, whatever thing you want to achieve as an individual is tied to your ability to grow personally, right? So money does not change you. Money magnifies who you already are, right? Very important. So a lot of persons think when they have money or when they finally get money, they will become what they want to be. You know, they'll become the person of their dreams and all of that. But that's not what money does. Money amplifies, money magnifies what you already have inside of you. You know, so if you see a wicked person today, whatever resources that is made available to that person in the future will amplify that wickedness that is already in his or her heart, right? So if you're a good person, by the time you have access to resources, wealth, money, as our subject matter is all about, it will magnify, you know, those potentials, those possibilities that are in you. And as a matter of fact, we have come to the understanding or to the acceptance of the fact that a lot of persons, you know, will never get to know what they can do until they have money, you know, at their disposal. There are a lot of persons, a lot of us on this call now, we think we are passionate about whatever thing we are doing. And the day we finally have that money we are looking for, you'll be so amazed in what you end up doing. You know, I'm laughing because I've read some stories, and there was one movie that I watched some time back that got me laughing seriously. You know, a young man was so passionate about his so-called business that he was doing, and then an opportunity came to him, you know, where he hit a jackpot. And because he hit that jackpot, you know, on a normal, everybody expects that he should take that money and invest into his business, you know, probably open more shops, you know, get more warehouse, get more boys that are going to work for him and all of that. But that was he actually did the opposite, right? He did the opposite because he need, you know, the money that came to him gave him a reason to pursue something he had never pursued before, that nobody ever thought about. You know, so he went on and began to pursue that stuff and end up squandering his money, right? So yeah, a lot of us are like that. You know, we think we are passionate about stuff. Even the course we study in university, if we had opportunity, let's say if someone just come to you today and give you 100 million naira, a lot of people drop out from university instantly. They won't want to go again because they'll be like, what am I doing there? Yeah, but that's not how life ought to be, right? So money magnifies who you are already. And another important thing is that personal growth is a foundation for financial growth, as a matter of fact, right? So money grows where identity expands. You know, financial stagnation often begins as identity stagnation. Who people can still
No,
all right. All right, thank you. So money grows where identity expands, right? So financial stagnation often begins with identity stagnation, in which you believe you are limited, you know, you are behind, or you are not good with money. Behavior will definitely match that belief. You know, so I read a book. The person that is the mic is distracting us. Please quickly mute your mic. Quickly mute your mic. You're not talking so that it doesn't distract the rest.
yes, Saturday, please, you can kindly mute your mic, please. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. So, oh, that sound is really a distraction to me. The person is not aware, so will I just be patient with that person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will
So
reach out to him, sir.
okay, thank you. That's one thing I love about Zoom. If it was to be Zoom, you can mute everybody that are on the call. You know, it makes it very easy. All right. So whatever belief system you have will definitely influence your reality. I read a book by Tony Robbins. The title of that book is Awaken the Giant Within. That book is a very, very robust book as far as belief system, thinking, mindset is concerned. So your finance can never outrun your mindset, your habit, your self concept. So whatever thing you have within your heart, your finance can't outrun that. Your income is a reflection of who you have become, not just how hard you work. A lot of us feel we need to work hard to achieve the beautiful things we desire, but life doesn't work that way. So whatever resources you have available to you today is a reflection of your mind. It's a reflection of your mind. That is why the Bible says, well, that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So it's a guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it is what is the issues of life. So the reflection of your heart, whatever thought you harbored in your heart will definitely manifest in your hand. Right? So you need to have that. That's why, anytime I have opportunity to talk about anything that borders around life, I first take it to the microscopic level, which is what we are doing tonight. Right? So financial problems are really financial first. So whatever many people feel that they have money problem, they have financial problem, but they are really financial first. They begin as emotional patterns. A lot of us we have this impulsive attitude. You just see something, you get it. You just see someone using something, you get it. You get interested in that thing and you want to get it. And those emotional patterns, influences your transaction. Because as far as the money is there, you want to move it to get those things that you want. Fear of risks. There is nobody on earth that you see today that is a billionaire that didn't take risks. People like Elon Musk, I don't even like talking about the white guys, right? So let me focus on our Nigerian people. Look at somebody like Dangote, Mike Adenuga, Femi Otedola, Rabiu of Boa Cement. These guys, they have taken risks. Every day they wake up, they are thinking of the next risk that they could venture into. A lot of us that are from a very, very poor background on this call, it is very difficult for you to take risks because you never see your dad, venturing into stuff that set him on his toes. He played the safe part. Your mom played the safe part. So it's very difficult for you to see yourself, taking steps that are very, very drastic and risky. Because everything is safe. You wait for the end of the month to get your salary. The salary is not coming. You step out, you take a little loan from this person, that person, and then when your salary comes, you clear it off. If you grow around that kind of environment, it will be very difficult for you to break into wealth. Because wealth, when it comes to riches, money, it comes with risk. It takes a lot of, passion for you to say, okay, I want to do this thing, and you are willing to go for it. Because for the fact that you are struggling in a particular stuff doesn't mean everybody is struggling in it. And the reason why a lot of persons have been able to break into success in whatever thing you see them doing is because they took the risk. Another factor that also influences the financial problem we have is poor discipline. Poor discipline. We can't delay gratification. Very important. A lot of persons can't delay gratification. They want it now. And we grew up with that. We grew up with that mindset, right? As little children, you are hungry, you want to get your toy, and your mom said no, you cry, you manipulate your parent until they succumb, they give you, that toy, and then you go playing. A lot of us grew up with that attitude. We can't delay gratification because that is the nature of man. That is the nature of human being. But when you grow and you want to step into finance, it is very important that you learn to delay gratification. The inability to say no, plan ahead, or delay gratification can also lead to a lot of financial troubles that people find themselves in, right? So growth precedes wealth. Very important. Growth precedes wealth. For you to step into wealth, you must expose yourself to the reality of growth. As little as a seed is, if a seed doesn't expose itself to the reality of growth, there is no way that seed will break into abundance. And what do I mean by the abundance here? Germination, growing, fruition, and all of that. And then people come to harvest from that tree. So the tree took the risk of exposing itself to the reality of growth. The sun will have to beat on it, the rain will come on it, people, there is a high possibility of some animals just eating it off and all of that. But the tree endures all of those processes. And at the end of the day, what happened? We have fruit, and people go towards that tree or towards that shrub or towards that plant, as the case may be, to harvest from it. So growth precedes wealth. The version of wealth you are seeing in your head, you are visualizing in your mind today, will only come to pass when you have grown to that version of person that can accommodate that wealth. There's this physics principle called the law of resonance. Where a turning fork is subjected to a level of vibration. The forcing frequency of that vibration on the turning fork will influence every other object that are around it. And then before you know, all the objects that are around that turning fork will begin to vibrate at the same amplitude or at the same frequency. You understand? So whatever reality you are envisioning in your heart today, there will only gain manifestation as you keep growing. So to become a person of increase that experience that financial increase, there must be an increase in your awareness. There must be an increase in your awareness. There must be an increase in your strategy. There must be an increase in your discipline, in your exposure to new information, to new ideas. And then there must also be an increase in your consistency. These are some of the things that will put you on the right track. Some of us, our awareness is limited. A lot of us are on this call today, some of you might be in university, some of you might probably you are a recent graduate, or you are working, or let's say you are doing your MSc or you are pursuing your PhD and all of that. A lot of the decisions that have modulated our life so far are limited, of which if we had opportunity to be exposed to better information, to better ideas, we would have done better, right? So you must be hunger for more awareness, because awareness can change you forever. If you become aware of how best to do certain things today, there is no way you continue doing it the way you have been doing it, because the level of awareness you have gotten now have shown you that this is the new strategy that you should use. So it will not demand you to assume a level of discipline, that will bet that result for you, and you just have to be consistent, right? So that is why the rich always says, well, the first million is made in your mind before it appears in your account. So you need to see it first. You need to see it first. If you can't see it, there is no way you can seize it. If you can't see it, there is no way you can have it. So finance begins with your mind. You need to see yourself achieving that dream that you have in your mind. Jacob in the Bible demonstrated a principle that changed the world forever for a lot of persons, a lot of big people you see out there. Today we have given it a whole lot of words. We talk about vision board and all of that. But that theory that Jacob demonstrated in the Bible is what they call epigenic impression. So he impressed his reality on a wood, and then force the objects that will bet that reality to visualize it as well. And before you know, when all the sheep or the goat meet in front of the impression that Jacob have set on motion, they began to reproduce, his reality. They began to reproduce his desires. So if you are here, you are not practicing vision board. You don't try to visualize that which you dream about or that which you want to achieve. You need to start learning how to do so. It's very important you do. It's very important you do. So there are 5 personal growth pillars to financial transformation. It's like a house. When you talk about financial transformation, it is that point of your life that you can achieve anything, you can give any volume of money, and it won't get you. Somebody like Bill Gates can decide to sort the issue of polio in Africa because he has a lot and enough of money that he can finance, the vaccine for polio in Africa, and it will not shake him. It's not shaking. There are some of us here that you just have someone in your house and the person, there's a level of food, you see the person eating and you just get angry. Because the person comes to stay with you and then the person is eating some and you get angry. Why are you angry? Because you don't have enough money to accommodate that kind of excesses. So most of the time I humorously say this, that a lot of the reason why parents get angry with their kids when they destroy something in the house is not because of what the kids, of what the child have done, is because of the cost associated to what that child have done. So the child broke the television. You are angry because you are thinking of, hey, I bought this television 1.3 million. I bought this television 500,000. So as this thing have happened like this now, we need to, where do I get that 500,000 naira to get it? So you decide to launch the whole of that decision and the anger on the child. So a lot of reactions we see in our environment today: husband divorcing wife saying they don't want to do marriage again, children insulting their parents. They are all money related. So for you to experience financial transformation, the first thing you need to work on is your identity. Very important. That label you carry, that belief system you have, that which shapes your thinking, which makes you feel as if you can't do certain things because you have never seen it happen in your family or in your community or in the environment you find yourself. So you begin to limit yourself to that reality. You need to shift that identity. You need to tell yourself that you are capable, you are possible. You understand? A lot of potentials can come out of you because all of us are seed in the hands of God. And all that God desires us to achieve is already planted into our spirit. So at different phases or at different stages of our life, those seeds will manifest in fruit, right? So you need to work on your identity. A lot of us, we can't express ourselves because we feel we are not good enough. No, you are as good as you are. You just need to improve and upgrade on the information that is modulating your thinking pattern. So you need to work on that. So your mindset, your habits, your knowledge, and the environment you find yourself, these are pillars that influences your outcome. So when we talk about identity, we talk about who you become that determines what you attract. Who you become determines what you attract. So if you want to attract a certain lifestyle, a certain reality, you need to become the person of that reality for you to attract it. A lot of us are here, there are mandates that God can't commit to us because we don't have the capacity to bear it. I always say this thing, that as powerful, as spiritual, as visionary, and as loaded as Jacob was, the revelation about the hunger that was to come upon the land wasn't given to him. Why? He has no capacity to provide solution to that circumstances that was about to come. So God have to whisper the vision into the mind of Pharaoh through his dream, and he saw himself, in a dream and all of that, right? Because the reason why God made that dream available to Pharaoh was because the solution was already in him. Please, who is that person? Mute your mic, please. All right, thank you. So the level of capacity you have today will determine what nature will traffic towards you. These are some of the stuff that I tried to break down in one of the recent books that I wrote, The Cipher of Self. Very, very important. If you can't attain a certain capacity, there's no way that nature or the divine can traffic information towards you. If you look at somebody like Dangote, he doesn't see things the way a regular Nigerian sees it because there is a level of capacity that is available to him. And because of that capacity, his vision is tilted in a different direction. He doesn't see things the way everybody sees it. So when every other person is saying there is insecurity, there is hardship, he is seeing an opportunity to make more money. Right? So your label, your self-image, your money identity dictate your earning capacity. So an identity shift would definitely equal an income shift. See, let me tell you something. Is in Nigeria that we haven't seen that happen so much. But if you read the book, the recent book by Femi Otedola, making it big, he says something about one business that he wanted to venture into in the oil and gas industry. That is in the power power sector. As all of us know, he owns Geregu, right? By the time Mr. Ifani comes on board and he's talking about stock and all of that, we might have opportunity to hear about Geregu and all of that. Before he ventured into acquiring Geregu as one of his companies, he had to pay a consultant in millions. Is it even in millions? In trillions. He paid in trillions to get someone to give him insight, to give him a feasibility study, to know whether what he is about to venture into is worth venturing into. See, global companies pay massively for what we call rebranding, identity. Because if, as an individual, if you're able to shift your identity, you automatically shift the perception of people towards you. The reason why a lot of us don't attract the kind of people we want is because the people we want to attract still have the wrong perception of us. So they don't see us in the light of what we think we are. So a lot of companies, they find themselves struggling and they're like, how do we shift from this point to the next point where we can 10x or 20x our outcome or our annual revenue? And they say, okay, we need to do rebranding. And you see them pay heavily for rebranding. So as an individual, if you want to move yourself to the next phase of your life, you need to rebrand yourself. You need to shift your identity, because that is one thing that is going to influence your income. So as you are shifting your identity, it will reflect in your mindset. A lot of us have this mindset that said, you will never rise again. You will never rise again because of this and that happens to you. So your money will never rise above your thinking. So as you are thinking, that is how it will happen to you. Some of us have this limiting belief that says, I don't deserve wealth. Money is hard to get. People like me don't become rich. I don't come from an environment that people become wealthy. So you need to shift your mindset to start thinking about how you can attract opportunity. And you start telling yourself, I attract opportunity. I'm capable of learning wealthy system, or I'm capable of learning wealth system. Money is a tool, not a master. You need to start seeing yourself in that light. And the truth is, just like Joshua Selman always said, what God wants to do in your life is not just all about you. It is very big. That if it is all about you, God can just let you go and say, okay, just rest. You say you don't even try. But the assignment of God on your life is so heavy that God can't let you go. And the vision of God for your life is not even about you alone. He is seeing millions of people that will be transformed by what He has already, planted inside your spirit. That is why I look at Abraham. He wasn't even moved by just the fact that Abraham had just one child that is a covenant child, that is Isaac. In Isaac, he's seen Jacob, he's seen the 12th tribe, he's seen millions of other nations, that will come out of that reality. So God is moved most of the time by what we see as challenges, because at the end of the day, if He's able to bet a certain dimension in your life, He will be able to achieve the whole thing that He has written concerning you. So your mindset must be greater than your motivation. It must be greater than your motivation. Very important. So the next pillar is, the habit pillar. So wealth is created in small, consistent actions. You can't grow wealth overnight. I love something that there's this statement that Olumide always use. He said the whole money you ever earn in your life will never be paid into your account one day. That's the truth. All the money you ever have in your life will never come into your account one day. They will come day by day, week by week, month by month, and all of that. And that's how we have something called an account statement, right? So small, consistent action is what builds wealth, is what builds financial prosperity or financial transformation. So we must learn to practice the principle of 1%. So growth in finance is not about big leap. It is about tiny, consistent upgrade. Okay, this month I want to start saving. I want to start reading books on finance. And I want to start going for trainings that polished my mind, that put me on the right track as far as financial knowledge or financial intelligence is concerned. So you start saying something like, a practical example is save 1% more every month. So this month you did 10%, next month you are doing 11%, 12%, 1%, 1%. The 1% principle is very, very powerful. If you are improving your life on a 1% basis every day or every week or every month, as the case may be, there is no way that you will be the same at the end of 12 months or at the end of 30 days. It's not possible. So you learn 1% more about investing weekly. You reduce 1% of your unnecessary spending. You improve your skill 1% every day. A lot of us, we watch a lot of funny stuff. These guys that you see them doing skits, they are improving on themselves. If you go to the first skit that Sabinus released when he started his career, there is no way you can compare that skit with the one he's releasing today, because he's drastically improving on himself day by day. The first song that Davido released is not even something you want to listen to again. If you are listening to it now, you'll be laughing at him. So you see that these guys are bent on improving themselves every day, but a lot of us are bent on consuming higher portion of someone else's creativity every day. So today you watch one, tomorrow you want to watch 10. That is what a lot of us are doing, and that's why we are not growing. There are people that have all the tracks and not the albums of some of these musicians, but they don't have the tracks and album of their own life. Imagine that. It's funny, but these are some of the realities that a lot of us face. And you think it's funny, right? Look at the amount of data you spend per week, per month on stuff that doesn't impact your life. These are unnecessary spendings that a lot of us are not even conscious of. Pastor Chris says something that changed my life. The first day I listened to it, he said, we have design. A lot of us, we know what the designer perfume, the designer this, the designer that. He said, when would they wear your own design? He said, a lot of us, we watch movies. He said, when will you be watched? So anytime I'm tempted to watch anything, I just ask myself, when will you be watched? That word will just come to me. I will just drop that in. Tony knows me very well. I barely watch movies. Instead, I'm watching tutorials because I want to improve on my skills. If there is no day that passes that I want to watch one tutorial on YouTube. I know a lot of us won't understand this, but if you commit the next 24 months, let's say now we'll be stepping into 2026, right? If you commit the whole of 2026 to watching one tutorial every day, you watch one tutorial or the other that improve on a particular skill you want to develop. By the end of 2026, you will never remain the same again. You'll be so skilled in that thing you want to do that you won't believe how come you step into that reality. So wealth is not built by intensity. Wealth is built by consistency. The things you do every day, these are the things that will influence you. These are the things that will influence your reality. So the next pillar is the pillar of knowledge, right? So this exposes the blueprint that you ought to follow. And when you talk about knowledge, you don't rise financially by trying harder, right? You rise by learning the system that wealthy people use. And just there's a discussion I had with Tony some time back, and that discussion personally, anytime I go through that discussion again, I got to see more insight in it. A lot. Let me tell us, we can be very funny when we are interacting and all of that. The information that the wealthy people operate on, can I shock you? It is not readily available. It's not readily available. And the information that will even change your life most of the time, you won't find it in a book. You won't find it in any movie. You won't find it in any workshop. You will find it in a man. You will find it in a man. You need somebody that really knows what he or she is doing to tell you this is what to do. A lot of persons will not document. Like you won't readily see the. What was that notification about, please? Sorry, please, Tony, keep me up to date. Keep me up to date if there is any development that I need to be aware of.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Okay, please. Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we are following. We are following.
Yes,
Can
sir.
see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So the information that will change your life, my dear brothers and sisters, is not you can't even find it in any YouTube tutorial. Let me be very, very clear on that. You won't even find it in like, yeah, Otedola wrote a book, making it big. He was very, very honest in that book to a very great extent and all of that. But let me tell us the truth. The information that makes the wealthy, you won't find it in any book. It is in their mind. It is only people that have opportunity to go close to them and God touch them that change the life of this person that they will release that information to. So you need to be aware of that. So knowledge, but generally for the sake of this teaching, these are some areas you need to improve on as far as your finance is concerned. You need to learn about budgeting. You need to learn about saving system. You need to learn about investment literacy. You need to learn about opportunity awareness. I've already stressed on this at the beginning of this teaching, right? You need to learn about opportunity awareness. There are information that will come to you that will change you forever, but that will not necessarily make you wealthy. It will make you rich, or it will make you have money. And the truth is, there is a certain amount of money you have that shift the kind of people you mingle with. There's a level of money that comes to you today that in the next 1 month, your circle of friends will change immediately. It will change immediately. You will not even understand how it happens. How would it happen? Because of the amount of money that have come to you, you will not be entering along again. If you want to travel from Lagos to Abuja, you will not have to use land. You will go by air. And as you are going by air, you will have opportunity to meet with other people of that category. Before you know, you are networking. Before you know, you are sharing contact. Before you know, your circle is changing. But because of the amount of money that is available to some of us, every movement we want to do, you spend 12 hours on the road. You spend 16 hours on the road, and there are other persons that are using 30 minutes to get to that. So when you find yourself in that environment where people of same reality are, it becomes easy for you to network. So, and those network will begin to influence the level of information and opportunity that is available to you. One of my friends was traveling to Ondo State, and when he got to the airport, he met one man, and he looked at his shoe. He saw the shoe the man was wearing, and that before that day, let me say like yesterday, he went to a supermarket and he saw that shoe, and the price, the cost for that shoe was, is it 1.5 million. 1.5 million. So immediately he saw that shoe on that man, he knew that this man is not an ordinary person. That's why a lot of us, even though you don't have money now, just most of the time try to go to let's say a boutique, and check out some of these things that they wear, the wristwatch, the shoes, just check these things out, so that you will not see somebody that is going to be your destiny helper and you are speaking big English before that person. Because some of your destiny helpers, they will not tell you that they are your destiny helper. You need to identify them. And how will you identify them if you are not aware of how they dress? I don't know whether you guys are following me. So immediately he saw that man, he saw the shoe, he knew that this man is not an ordinary person. For you to remove 1.5 million naira to buy a certain kind of shoe, it means that is not the only type of shoe you are wearing, and it means you are somebody that knows where you are going to. So he just arranged himself and started talking to the man, and before you know, that man is a consultant. They were able to strike a deal that brought up to how many billions of naira within the space of 30 days. Because immediately after that flight, they exchanged contact. When they got back to Abuja, they strike a meeting. They met in Transcorp, and from that meeting, before you know, and this same guy that he met is aspiring to be a governor of the state. And this same guy have someone that can, he was struggling to go meet the current governor of the state to speak to him. And this, my friend, already have the contact of the governor of the state. So he just told him, no, don't worry, when we get to Abuja, I will take you to his office. It's as simple as that. So immediately they did that. This man loved this guy and he was like, man, guy, you have really, really helped me. How was he able to spot that man? He knew how they dress. That was why when Abraham saw these angels, he knew that these men are not ordinary men. They were on their way to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. So you must be very, very aware of how they were dressed, so that you don't go out, because a lot of us here can speak big English, good English, Queen's English. We have first class in our BSc or master's distinctions and all of that. So we are very proud. The pride of is here the academic environment, or what do we call it? So you stand before your destiny and you are speaking big English. You don't know that this person can change your life forever. And why do you think so? Because most of us don't know the value of some of the stuff people wear. So you see everything on the lens of your own reality and resources. So when you see, most of us can't even identify an original wristwatch, an original Rolex watch. You can't identify it. And you stand before somebody, you think that because you two are wearing Rolex, you think you guys are wearing the same thing. So yeah, I just want to be very, very flexible on this discussion, so that you guys can understand what I'm trying to say. Because these are some of the ways that you step into financial breakthroughs. There are people that are already working in the reality you are dreaming of. So if you have an opportunity to strike a discussion with them, you need to learn about negotiation. You need to learn about communication. Very important. That was why I wrote that book, Talk to Win. Very important. Talk to win. How do you negotiate with people that are not of the same class with you? How do you strike communication with people that you just meet? Very important. So the next pillar is a pillar of the environment. So you cannot grow wealth in a poverty conditioned atmosphere. You can't grow wealth there. So your financial imagination becomes imprisoned if everyone around you is financially stuck, right? So one of the quick advice you need to take home at the end of this class is that you need to improve, or evolve your learning space, and you also need to evolve your financial intelligence community. Today you have opportunity to be in this boot camp. Start networking. Reach out to people in this group and network with them. Okay, what are you guys up to? How do we connect and all of that? Seek out for mentors. Very, very important, because if you do that, it will really, really impact your life. So there are 4 stages of financial growth, right? So this comes from my signature transformation architect model that I documented in my book Position 40, right? So the first stage is a stage of awareness, right, which talks about enlightenment. And then the second stage is a stage of correction, which talks about emancipation. So you have seen all the errors in your thinking, you have seen all the errors in your approach, right? So with this enlightenment you have gotten that is influencing your awareness now, you need to make correction. And that correction is what I call emancipation. You need to shift away from those limiting beliefs, right? And as soon as you're able to achieve that emancipation, you need to set up a transformation infrastructure. You need to set up something that keeps you consistent. And the only way for you to achieve consistency is when you are able to systematize your operations. A lot of us, we work at random, and that is why we can't track whatever thing we are doing. So you need to systematize your operations. Okay, so if I want to get to point B or to point C, I need to move from point A to point B to get to point C. And if I want to get to point F, I need to move from point A, B, C, D, E, F, right? So you need to systematize your operation. Very, very important. You need to systematize your savings. You need to systematize your investment approach. And these days, it is so easy because you can do auto saving, right? You can do auto saving. You just set it up in such a way that, okay, or at any point in time, you are withdrawing money from your account, just like what they do in OP. At any point in time, you are withdrawing money from your account, a certain percentage should be saved, right? And okay, you want to invest in the stock market. Every month you do, is it dollar cost average or what is it called, right? Every month a certain percentage is going into your portfolio. It doesn't matter whether the market is going down or the market is going up. You just set it up, okay, 10,000 naira, 100,000 naira should be going into this particular stock and all of that, right? So you, after you have done that, you multiply your strategy. You know, these days we have a lot of automation, so you need to multiply. That is what we describe as empowerment. So a structured journey from recognizing your pattern to multiply your growth is what will bet that financial growth that you are looking for. And this stage in details, I describe them as recognizing your financial patterns, which is awareness, right? And how you spend, you know, how you earn, what triggers you emotionally, where are you leaking money, right? This is what we describe as enlightenment. So you need to sit down and begin to analyze yourself, you know, run yourself through different checks. A lot of us, we have good heart, and that good heart is what is affecting us. You can't hear somebody just call you and say, hey, I never chop. And a lot of people are pretending. They just want to make money from you. They just want to take money from you because they have already discovered that you are somebody that is very, very good. And most of the time they even describe it as being naive. You know, while I was on campus, I was a fellowship president and council chairman and all of that, right? So we were the one that moved from class to class to preach. So every now and then, you just see people enter. It's either they are coming to my house or they are just busting into me while on campus and say, Papa, Papa, this, Papa, that. And sometimes I will give everything I have. I will not even have anything for myself. There was a day I was just sitting out, you know, in one of those sit outs on campus there, and one lady walked towards me. Okay, she dropped me a message. I've never chatted her before. She has never chatted me up. She just dropped a message and told me that her mother is in the hospital, this and that and this, that they need money for surgery. The last 10,000 naira that was in my account, I sent it. I sent it because I just felt I was doing something good. So that was in the afternoon. By the time I got home, they also reached out to my roommate, Papa Eric, and he you know, he's so wonderful that most of the time when when he has those kind of stuff, he will tell me that look at so and so person that is starting. But me, I just feel like if I can do something, let me just do it without having to discuss about it, because Bible say when you are doing good, don't let your left hand to know about it, Abby. But Eric is very smart. He always discuss with me. I don't know why, and that is how he keep escaping those kind of you know, he kept escaping those kind of reality. Me, I will fall victim, and then I will gain wisdom. I will begin to advise him not to. You know, so he reached out to me. It was so bad that evening, while we were going for fellowship, I overheard some ladies sitting by one spot they called Gossip Center, and they were telling us how much you carry, how much you carry, how much you. And then I saw the picture of that girl that chatted me up. I was like, yeah. So this thing was staged. The mother is not in the hospital. They were just looking for money to do whatever thing they want to do. So they decided to reach out to a certain number of persons and hope that, okay, if they reach out to 10 persons, probably 2 or 5 will definitely submit. They will give them something. And then at the end of the day, they will gather, you know, arrange all the money they were able to get that day and launch out to do whatever thing they want to do. So I saw that lady. I was like, yeah, so this lady is a scam. And thank God Papa Eric have not sent his own money. That was how I bailed Papa Eric out. So a lot of us, we just have good heart, and people are taking advantage of that good heart. Yeah. So you need to budget yourself. So you budget yourself for the month. And at any point in time, your budget for charity has been exhausted. On no account should you go into the budget for finance to sort out the issue of charity. Don't do that. Don't do that. People will call you names. It doesn't matter. You just need to grow. When you grow to a certain point, you won't have to be doing all this calculation again. You set up a trust fund where people can, you know, dip hand into at every point in time to take money from there and do stuff. But for now that you are the growth phase of your life, set up system that mitigate all of these excesses, right? Very important. So yes, I think I've already talked about this, right? So yeah, I think very important. You just need to, as I'm scrolling through, just be reading through, because I want this to be very, very quick, and I think I need to rush so that I can give us time to ask questions and all of that. So what are the practical steps to grow your finance in 2026 that we are stepping into. You need to create a personal financial identity statement. Very important. You can write this one in one sentence. So what should be your identity statement? What should be your personal financial identity statement? You need to set up something of that nature so that it can guide you. And then the step 2 is to track your money for 30 days. Track all your expenses, your expenditure, your income, everything. Track it for the next 30 days. Probably you can do that for the month of January, right? And then choose one new skill that increases earning power. So as a young person on this call, what skill do you think you want to learn, right? And one of the stuff that I always advise people to do is that in every year, try to read World Economic Forum report. There's this report they release every year. Sometimes, when they release that report, they tell you the different disruption that is taking place. Okay, Tony, thank you for reaching out. I'm already summarizing. So they reach out, they do a detailed research into the different skills, the skills that are going obsolete, the technology that are going obsolete, the skills that are becoming irrelevant, let me use that word, and then the skills that are trending, or the skills that will be trending, so they always release that report. So they release one for 2025, and that report covers from 2025 to 2030. So in every 5 years interval, they release a very, very bulky report that gives a pictorial description of what the next 5 years or the next 10 years is going to look like. So try to be reading those kind of reports. Very important. Read those kind of reports. It will inspire you and then filter your decision-making process, right? And then choose a skill that you want to build. And if it is something that will demand you to get courses, make sure you do so. If it's something that will demand that you go for mentorship, make sure you do so. Very important. Choose one income growth strategy for yourself. Is it a side business you want to start? Go start it. Is it a freelancing you want to go into? Go into it. Is it teaching? Is it digital product that you want to start selling? Is it selling knowledge? Is it investment? Just come up with one strategy that you want to work around for the next 1 year or for the next 6 months. Don't be jumping from one thing to the other, because you'll be dissipating your energy and you won't be able to track your progress, right? So implement the power of 1% for 30 days, for 90 days, sorry. So tiny wins, do one thing that improves you 1%. Do one thing that improves you at the rate of 1% every day, and you will see visible transformation in your life, right? So in closing, your financial future is not waiting for luck, chances, or miracles, right? So your financial future is waiting for a new you to emerge. If you grow personally, your finance will definitely grow, right? So you don't need to start big. You just need to start small, and as you start, be consistent, be intentional, and with identity clarity, you can become the wealthiest person or the person of your dream. Let me use that word instead. And not because money changed, but because you change, right? So yeah, I think I will end my discussion here and open for any questions you want to ask. Yeah, thank you very much for the audience. I'm so excited that we could do this. So please, if you have any question, you can quickly ask. Let me stop sharing my screen.